Hey everyone, Clint Butler from SIA, and thank you for joining me. This is test number 45, subdomains versus subdirectories. Let's try it out. All right, let's get into this. So we got test number 45. We're actually talking more about using subdomains versus subdirectories when making multiple copies of your website and then translating them into different languages, i.e. Spanish, French, Russian, whatever. And this is really important, especially if your target audience is in multiple markets and they're not primarily English speaking. You want to reach out to more of them. For the most part, though, probably a general small business in any country is probably not going to expand too far beyond their country, or their language base, just for obvious reasons, and because scaling at this level gets to be a little bit hard. It is not to say that you can't target multiple keywords in multiple countries with pages just using the keywords. I've ranked over the top SEO, for example. When I was a head SEO over there, we ranked in Israel, Brazil, and a bunch of other countries right on the main domain. We didn't even worry about creating subdirectories or subfolders. We just taught the algorithm what our page was about, and we created the content to meet that. That would be said is we didn't translate anything, so everything was in English. But we ranked in Brazil version of Google with our English page. Probably not the best for conversions, but it can be done. Here's where actually you're testing out. Let's say you want to have a French and a Spanish version, for example, or you're in a like where I am, Southwest Arizona. It would probably do me some good to actually have some Spanish versions for, let's say, my Yuma, Tucson, and Phoenix pages, because the market, the Hispanic market, and the Hispanic small business community is fairly strong here in the Southwest. So I could do that if I wanted to. And the test was looking at, is it better to do it as a subdirectory or a subdomain? Now, this has been done recently on a whole bunch of other people have seen it. And our results were that the subdomain won. And I think a lot of people at the time were seeing kind of along the same thing. They were seeing that their subdomain won at the, won the test. And got the results that they were looking for versus the subdirectory. But I've also seen the inverse of that, where people were testing their subdirectories versus their subdomains, and the subdomains or subdirectories won. So you really got to play with it with your market and see and know exactly what you're doing. I would tell you my recommendation would be to actually set up with subdirectories, using a hreflang tags to send the different languages to the correct translated pages inside of there, and just boost up the overall authority of your one website. And mention when I say your one website, let's say you have a Spanish, French, and English version, and you're using the subdomains. That's 3 websites, 3 individual websites. Those are 3 individual URLs, and 3 individual essentially for the purposes of explaining 3 different domains. So you'll have to rank in SEO 3 websites versus the subdirectory thing where you're only doing 1, and you can let the power and the interlinking and all that stuff kind of boost everything up together versus doing it with the subdomain. It's not impossible with the subdomain. As a matter of fact, people are still doing it today and still doing it just fine, interlinking their subdomains with their main websites and interlinking all that stuff together. It just takes the same amount of work, but when you think about duplicating plugins, duplicating codes, duplicating changes, duplicating conversion optimization stuff, and not only do you only have to do it one time, you got to do it 3, 4, 5 times, depending on how many languages you're targeting. So keep that in mind as well. All right. So again, the test. Our test, subdomains won in both instances of the test. We tested this twice as part of test 45, and that's how that shaked out for us. This was a while ago, so this definitely needs to be looked at again, and probably in my recommendation would be to use subdirectories because it's easier, and I'm lazy. I'll worry about translating. That's a different thing. But if I'm changing the CTAs and I'm changing, the locations of the CTAs and all that stuff, why would I want to do it on 4 different websites when I can do it on the one, and the language translations are all still there, and I don't have to redo all that stuff. So that's just something to keep in mind. See how much work you want to take on. Use the href lang. That's what it's designed for subdirectories. You can use it on subdomains, but it's designed to help support you if you're doing subdirectories too. And I know at the basic time of this test, there was no mention of href being used in the subdirectories, which could have caused the indication of why the subdomains won. The site was English. And yeah, you had those different subdirectories in different languages, but did you use href to indicate that? And that's not in the test. It's not a write-up. It's not a part of the write-up in this test. So that needs to be there. That's why it should be retested, and we'll see how that ends up. All right. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe button. We'll see you on the next one.